Good morning, Spain. How lovely to have you with us once again. We have a lovely program lined up for you. We're going to be cooking and traveling, talking about eating out in Spain, disconnected intimacy, the Oprah Winfey book club, exercises for our eyes, getting some good sleep, new trends in fashion, and so much more. Stay tuned. We're starting off this week talking new fashion trends with our lovely youngster, Kate. I love it when you come up with these new things, and this is one I'm going to be well into, decorating our jeans and our clothes with bits.
Do you know what?
With glittery bits.
We love the glittery bits, isn't it? And I think as well, like, we've just come out of winter, like, we're going into summer, so we thought, why not get things that are in our wardrobes and jazz them up a little bit to make them a little bit more fun, sparkly, fun.
Yeah,
exactly. So do you know what? These are just a few little bits that I've just got from mine, and I think that's the beauty of it. Like, it's not like you need to go out and be buying loads of things. You can literally get things that are in your house and just have fun with it.
Okay.
So I've just got, like, for example, this is just a little hair bubble, and I know that we love pink, so we can literally just put this around our ankles, and then what we can do is that I've just got like a little bracelet here, and then you can just put your bracelet over here and just tie it up. And then, as I say, you can get your ribbons, put them on, so you can really just layer
up different jewellery on. So, like, when I was youngster, I was very fashionable to wear ankle bracelets. But it's nice to see that is not only still in fashion, but now making more of it. Like, and I think layering it on.
Yeah.
Layer it on. And as you say, I think as well, like, you know, they talk so much now about, you know, recycling fashion and, you know, like, really, like, looking at that. And I think this is what's really nice, because it's not like you need to go out and spend loads of money. You can just use bits that you've got at home. Like, for example, these are just, look, like little safety pins that you can just, you know, put onto your jeans or put onto your trousers, like, pinch them up, so it gives them like that little kind of something different, and you can put like little charms on them. And then, as I say, get a necklace, put that around your ankle, get these to kind of like pin them together, so you can like just really have fun with it and just do something that, you know, is your style. So
I'd say it looked really good on Simon's ankle.
Definitely. I think that we've got to have a little trial, don't you? So,
I love the idea, because as you say, you're just taking bits and pieces that you have and adapting them. And I would love to wear this as an ankle bracelet.
Love
exactly.
Take your jeans and just stick bits on, because patches used to be big thing when I was a kid as well, with patches. So it's like a modern day patching.
And it's nice as well.
With bling.
With blingies.
With blingies.
And it's nice as well, because say if you have got like a little pair of flares or something, you want to make them into, you know, put a little pair of heels on and make them a little bit more like ruched. You can just literally, as you say, get different bits, just scrunch up your jeans and then put a little bit of heels on. It's like you've got your summer kind of
like making it tight around the ankle, ballooning it, and
so like really kind of like changing it up, so it's almost like you've got 2, 3, 4 trousers in one, which is actually perfect.
Very simple. Something we can all do.
So yeah,
okay, send in your examples if you try it out. We'd love to see your pics. Make my day. Neil, today we're going to talk about restaurants. It sounds like maybe it's a bit obsolete to talk about restaurants, but it's very different dining out in Spain than basically anywhere else except a Latin country that would be, say, Italy or something like that. Could be maybe slightly similar.
That's right, Nicole. I mean, what we thought we'd do today, we grouped together all the different messages and posts and things we've got from people in our post bag and talk about consumer affairs and restaurants, the do's and don'ts in Spain. And the thing that actually prompted me to do this is we got a letter from a person saying that they'd not shown up for a group booking at a restaurant, and the restaurant was trying to charge them for the booking. And I thought, well, let's talk about that and other issues as well. And this is something that's becoming increasingly common in Spain, because the Spanish traditionally are very relaxed about restaurant bookings. You don't book very often, and sometimes you ring up, they don't even take your number or your credit card.
And some restaurants don't even take bookings. You're not allowed to book.
No, exactly.
Which is another
and it's quite different. It's not as regimented as might be in some of the northern countries. And it's true, a restaurant can charge you, because it's a real problem for these groups if you don't go, but they have to tell you first. So they have to be very clear on their website, and they have to take a credit card and something like that. And in this case, it seems that the person wasn't told first, so there was no chance they couldn't do them. So please do that. If you're going out this summer and you're booking a table, please honour the booking and don't let these poor restaurants down, because it's a big problem for some of these small, higher end restaurants losing a booking of 8 people in a night.
Yes, it can ruin a restaurant.
Yeah.
Exactly, they need to get
Especially
there.
when it's a big group.
It's inconsiderate.
Yeah. And it happens.
Some restaurants you have to pay in advance if it's a set menu, or sometimes there's a deposit that you have to pay exactly for that reason, particularly when there's a big group. There's a lot of big restaurants where you pay a bit in advance, and sometimes people feel uncomfortable about it. And it's like, well, if you're going to go, what's the issue?
Absolutely.
I think they've had to adapt a lot because of us foreigners coming in, because in Spain, when I first lived here, you go to a bar, for example, and you'd order drinks, and then at the end, they ask you, what did you have? You tell them and you pay.
It's still much more relaxed, and we've got to be careful we don't take advantage of it.
But then we Brits come in and take advantage of that, and do you know what I mean? In the sense, they've had to adapt a lot because of us not being as trustworthy as we should be.
So honour your booking, please. Don't mess restaurants around. The other issue that's come up is doggy bags. It is law in Spain, and it's not in a lot of countries, that if you don't eat your food, they have to give you a container. So
That's
you can
actually
take
law.
it's law.
That's
amazing. I
It's
didn't
law.
think you'd need one.
Some
They are
places charge
obliged.
you for a container.
No, they can't charge you. Absolutely can't charge you. And in theory, it's meant to be a recyclable container, which it should be. So take advantage of that. The other issue that people write to us about is allergens, because Spanish tends to be quite tolerant with things like vegan and vegetarianism. There's not as many, and not as many people have allergies. People from northern countries, Britain and America these days, declare a lot of allergies. It is law in Spain that they have to have an allergen menu. So if you're worried about, there's 14 different, it's actually European law. So 14 different categories, from everything from peanuts, shellfish, gluten, celiac, all those kind of things. They have to give you it either written or verbally. Okay, that's very important. So they haven't got it written, don't get angry, because they are meant to be able to tell you it verbally. But if they do tell you verbally, they have to have a book somewhere in the back in the kitchen with all the ingredients in. So don't be shy. I think if you go to sort of a highway tapas bar, it might not be that easy, but a proper restaurant in town or in a resort.
On that note, I have a friend who's very allergic to fish, and a lot of cross frying is done. So there will be bars and restaurants that will fry the fish in the same thing as the chips. So really do, if you are severely allergic to something, be very careful where you choose, because
I remember actually that happened to my mum, who was very passionately vegan, and went to a restaurant, and she ordered the aubergine, the fried aubergine. What's it called in Spanish? Berenjenas con miel.
Well, eggplant for our American
Yeah. But no, the berenjenas that sometimes come as chips, and that's what she had.
And the batter. Oh,
yeah,
they're delicious.
Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. From this particular place, they're one of the best. And she was munching away, really enjoying it, and then picked up one, and it was a boquerones. And it was a fried fish, which looked very similar.
They just fried it in the same thing.
And Mum, quite rightly, was very upset and explained that she was vegan and she almost ate a fish. And the guy kind of said, well, it's all fried in the same place. And she was like, what? It's just being informed, isn't it? If you're allergic or if you're passionately vegan, these things matter.
As a top tip, if you're vegan in Spain, I think picking up on this point, it's really worth researching the restaurants that do vegan food and through their blogs, and see that they've got a commitment to it, because you can't guarantee it. Salmonejo is a very common tomatoey dish. It's often served as vegetarian on the restaurant, then it will arrive with egg and ham in the top, and you say it's vegetarian, and they say, yes, it's vegetarian. So it can be quite hard to get the message through.
Or even vegetarian soups. They
They
look
use
like
chicken
it's
stock.
all or chicken stock or some other kind of stock.
And paella is the other one. Vegetarian paella is normally fish stock. Because that's the culture and the tradition. So you just really need to do your research. The Spanish tend to round up in tipping. It's a whole program on tipping. So if something's, $17.50, they might round it up to 18, 19, or even 20. That's a lot for a Spanish tip. Terraces. Okay, is it legal? Well,
the foreigners love this, that they can smoke here.
I don't quite know what the rule is now in the UK and other countries. I love the tip. The general national rule is that you can smoke on a terrace in a restaurant still, or it's being eaten away a bit in different regions, because as usual, Spain's different per region, providing that 2 of the 4 sides of a terrace are open to fresh air. Okay? And one of those sides could be the restaurant itself, the wall of the restaurant. And very often as the day goes on, people are lowering and upping blinds, and I think even the staff can get confused. But if you find that you've got the 2 sides blocked and the back wall of a terrace, then the restaurant shouldn't be letting people smoke.
No,
If they
'cause you're
up one
fully
of the
closed in,
yeah,
aren't you
there's
then,
no
pretty
the
much?
key to it is circulation,
Yeah.
and there is no the side is they need to up the side to allow you to
Yeah.
circulate. And the other rule is if it's like an isolated terrace, if the side's more than 1 meter high, then you can't smoke. And the rule is, I mean, I don't smoke, I don't mind smoking. But if someone's having a meal next to you, they're eating their food, then just don't smoke. It's normal, isn't it? What do you think?
It is for an English person, but not here, again, in the sense, if
Yeah,
it's a
Spanish people
smoking
do that all the
terrace,
time.
they don't care who's next to you. Personally,
No.
if there's a baby or a child, for me it is common decency, but I'm English. It's different.
But I would
They're
frequently
common
say to
decency.
someone, having a meal, do you mind? And people just move their hand or whatever. I don't find it usually an issue if you comment.
I think a lot of time it's just communication,
People just
isn't
forget,
it?
don't they? You're having a nice night out and you just forget and things.
Yes,
things
there could
like
be that. I think more it would be that
Yeah.
if someone's smoking next to a child or something, but then there
But
will be
just
the ones who
eating,
say,
people wouldn't
you
care.
move. Exactly,
Smokers,
just
they
move.
don't care.
Yeah, it's
They're
just
like,
move.
this is the smoking area. If you don't like it, sit
Exactly.
in a non-smoking
Sit in
area.
the
I
non-smoking
disagree. Again,
area.
my
That is
experience
what
is
they
people do care.
Oh,
They're
mine
generally just like, oh no.
No, the general experience is
Yeah, my experience is also-
smokers
You
are
must be
happy.
going to- you must be going to
Smokers
be
are happy
completely
to
different
have
places.
their area, and if
Yeah.
people are in the smoking area and get offended by smoking, they shouldn't be sitting in the smoking area. I'm a non-smoker, so I'm not standing up for smokers in that way. But that's
Yeah.
what I've seen many a time. Smokers are like, but this is the smoking area. It's also, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, the discretion of the restaurant. A restaurant that has a terrace could decide that it's non-smoking. Is that
Don't
right?
know. I'd be
I
wrong to
believe
answer
so.
that.
I think
I'd be
so.
wrong to
I believe
answer
so. I
that.
think
There
they
are
can
some places
decide
where
that
you
they
can't
just don't
smoke
want
at all.
smoking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, obviously, as we can see, not only is it different to the UK to Spain,
It's different to
but
all
it's
our
different to all our
experiences.
experiences.
Yeah.
We have a different perspective. I think that is interesting in
Definitely,
itself. To be
definitely.
continued.
Part two, there's lots more about
But there's
restaurants.
so much more about restaurants. It's what we do most, isn't it?
Absolutely.
As we get older, it seems
I'm like,
to
oh,
be.
I can talk about
Exactly.
restaurants.
Talk about restaurants. Bon appetit.
Make my day. Make my day.
Everything we are starts here. We're about waking up with the sun every morning and taking care of what's ours. We're about traditions, our legacy. We're about making things simple. We're about turning food into works of art. We're about table talk, long conversations, and keeping each other close. We're about tapas, pescadito, good wine, cocido, gazpacho, paella, migas, olives, churros. We are and always will be about enjoying food. Gastronomy defines us.
When you think of car or motorbike insurance, think Linea Directa. When you most need your insurance company, Linea Directa are there for you. With tow trucks, courtesy car, mechanics, legal advice, even overnight stay in a hotel if you need it. There's a whole department dedicated to us Brits with people who speak English there to help us. If you're looking for an insurance policy that really takes all your needs into consideration whilst you're driving in Spain, then Linea Directa really is the company for you. Why don't you give them a call? 952 14 78 34 or contact them online.
Make my day. Make my day.
The last few weeks we've been talking about various book clubs. So today I thought I'd take a look at Oprah's book club, a book discussion segment on the American talk show, The Oprah Winfrey Show. She started the book club in 1996, selecting a new book, usually a novel, for viewers to read and discuss each month. In total, the club recommended 70 books during its 15 years. Due to the book club's widespread popularity, many obscure titles have become very popular bestsellers, increasing sales in some cases by as many as several million copies. Al Greco, a Fordham University marketing professor, estimated the total sales of the 70 Oprah editions at over 55 million copies. At the show's conclusion in May 2011, Nielsen Bookscan created a list of the top 10 bestsellers from the club's final 10 years. So I'm going to talk about 3 that were in the top 5. Starting with Cormac McCarthy's The Road, which sold 1,385,000 copies since being nominated on the book club. Shortly after it was chosen, The Road was awarded the Pulitzer Prize for fiction. Oprah actually conducted the first ever televised interview with author Cormac McCarthy, a famously reclusive author. The book details the grueling journey of a father and his young son over several months across a landscape blasted by an unspecified cataclysm that has destroyed industrial civilization and nearly all life. Realizing they cannot survive the winter in northern latitudes, the father takes the boy south along country roads towards the sea, carrying their meager possessions in their knapsacks and a supermarket cart. It's actually quite a dark novel. The second one is James Frey's A Million Little Pieces, also quite dark. This one sold 2,695,000 copies. It was actually originally sold or marketed as a memoir, but later as a semi-fictional novel, following the author's admission that many parts of the book were fabricated. It tells the story of a 23-year-old alcoholic and abuser of drugs and how he copes with rehabilitation in a 12-steps-oriented treatment centre. The book follows James through the painful experiences that lead up to his eventual release from the centre, including his participation in the clinic's family programme with his brother, despite his strong desire not to. He meets many interesting people in the clinic with whom he forms relationships and who play an important role in his life, both during and after his time there. These people include a mafia boss who plays a vital role in his recovery and a female drug addict with whom he falls in love, despite the strict rules forbidding contact between men and women at the clinic. And finally, the biggest selling book, thanks to Oprah's book club, is Eckhart Tolle's A New Earth, which sold 3,370,000 copies. After it was selected for the book club, she created a series of 10 weekly webinars with the author. It has since become the only book to be selected twice in the book club's history, as it was also selected in the kind of reinvention of the book club in January this year. The book encourages its readers to live their lives in each present moment and to create happiness for themselves without emphasizing material possessions. Tolle's intent is to change the way human beings think, and he envisions a world population that is increasingly humble, enlightened, and pure. In the book, Tolle asserts that everyone can find the freedom and joy of life if they live in the present moment. The book describes human dysfunction, selfishness, anxiety, and the inhumanity we inflict on each other, as well as mankind's failed attempts to find life's meaning and purpose through material possessions and unhealthy relationships. It asserts that thoughts can have a powerful and beneficial effect on the healing process and puts forth a concept of evolutionary transformation of human consciousness, which prompts the reader to participate in honest self-evaluation that can lead to positive change. According to Barnes & Noble, the book became the fastest-selling title in the history of Oprah's book club. Within 4 weeks of the book club announcement, 3.5 million copies had been shipped. By 2009, an estimated 5 million copies had been sold in North America, which is quite outstanding. I feel like I know what book you ladies are going to
I'm not into dark, and I'm very into Tolle.
Yes, Tolle.
Exactly.
I mean, it's like the follow-on from The
Power
Secret,
of Now,
isn't it?
Yes, The Power of Now was his
Yeah,
last
the
one,
Rhonda Byrne, and then you come into, and he takes it that step further because he adds the feeling into it as well as the intention.
Yeah.
So I felt that was also very powerful. And he's so quiet that it makes his words more
Powerful.
meaningful.
more meaningful.
Deep, profound.
Yeah. And he went through, I mean, when reading his story, he was basically homeless. He slept on park benches. I mean, he went through total, I suppose, losing everything to then resurface to realize the actual things that are important, which is just being.
so many people who have written these types of books, not even as anywhere near as successful as him, but a lot of them have been through
Hardships.
real journeys
Yeah.
and have been to rock bottom and thought, okay, either I don't want to be here anymore, or I need to do something to bring myself out of that. And it takes something within to do that. It's not a job or a relationship or whatever. It's within yourself that you need to make.
It's definitely
those
some form of like
changes
inner strength, isn't it? To
Absolutely.
live, like you said, to live in the moment and find the joy in life itself and not in the materialism of life.
Yeah.
Which is challenging.
But it's
isn't it?
also, you grow so much when you overcome your comfort zones. So that's like the biggest learning curve ever. I mean, it's like when I originally started traveling, I mean, just traveling and going to different cultures, you learn so much. And so, yeah, I mean, it is powerful,
It's
like facing the fears.
We all want things,
fear.
well, a lot of us want things to change, but unless you change something,
Yeah.
nothing's going to change.
The only
You have
thing
to
we
make
can
it be
change is
different.
ourselves.
Exactly.
We
It's
can't
the only
change
thing
other
we can
people.
change.
Yeah.
There's a saying that goes, if you always do what you always did, you'll always get what you always got.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
And the human, they say, is the only animal that will trip over the same rock twice. You know, in the sense that, okay, well, if that didn't work, I'll do it again.
Yeah.
You can't keep doing the same thing and expect a different result.
Exactly.
No.
But it's
Yeah.
very difficult to do something differently and to realize that it is the moment, because they say the present is a gift, it's the present.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's not the fear of, or like, was it like
They say,
regretting the past, fearing the future?
But they say that the past is history, the future is a mystery, but the present moment is a gift to enjoy.
It is.
Isn't that lovely?
And that is the
Yeah.
summary of Tole's words,
Yeah.
really. It's just be conscious right now. We're sitting here, we're on TV, we're in the Hard Rock Hotel, we're with all of you, and how magical
enjoying the
and
moment.
wonderful is that? We are really enjoying the moment.
Absolutely.
You know, one of my favorite quotes in like spiritual philosophy is, real freedom is enjoying whatever you're doing at that moment. And if you do your best to live like that, life is beautiful, you know? I mean,
Absolutely.
it'll always have challenges, but it becomes
We're
more...
so used to always thinking about the next
Where am I
thing.
going next?
We're so busy.
Rushing.
After I finish eating this, I'm doing this. And after we've done this, we've got to do this. And we're like that a lot. But if you can just enjoy each bit, and it's easier said than done
It is.
sometimes.
It is, because otherwise you're not living any moment,
Yeah.
you're just getting through the motions.
You just get to your list of things to do,
Yeah.
rather than actually really enjoying doing the things you're
Absolutely.
doing.
Because life is
Absolutely.
that. Life is this moment. It's not what I will do, or when I'm older I will get that. No, it's like, just do it now.
Or I will be happy when I find a boyfriend. I'll be
Yes.
happy when I have this amount of money in my bank. I'll be happy when I have a six-pack. Be happy now,
Yeah.
you know, because you might not even make it to those things.
Yeah,
you might as well enjoy the
exactly.
journey rather than the
you never
destination.
know.
It's that. There it is. It's the journey.
Yeah.
Enjoy
It's
the
the
journey.
journey.
It's not the
It's not the
destination.
It's the climb.
Make my day. Make my day.
So, good morning, Spain. Today we're going to be talking about and doing a practical exercise to help with the blood supply and the circulation of everything around the eyes, and talking about eye health. As we know, as we get older, the eyes can start losing their strength. So I'm going to show you some simple exercises we can do. It's very simple. And these were devised by the yogis thousands of years ago. And they have been proven to kind of help a little bit with everything happening with the eyes. So first of all, just kind of separate your feet if you can, and look forward. Keep your head in line with your spine. And if you can, just close your eyes. If at home you can do this as well. And in your mind, visualize a clock, okay? Obviously midnight is at top and 6 is down. And just keeping your head in this position, bring your eyes up to 12 o'clock without moving your head.
With our eyes closed.
Your
still.
eyes closed, keep your eyes closed, because you can leave them open, but you're going to look a bit crazy on the camera.
I imagine it's a digital clock, so I've had to change my
Yeah,
image.
no, a circular clock.
You're so modern, Neil.
I will open my eyes so people at home can see me, but you guys can close your eyes so
Okay,
you don't feel
okay. So
silly,
we don't look
okay?
so weird.
To look so weird, but I will look really weird, but I don't mind looking weird, right? Because I'm weird anyway. So visualize a circular
why we
clock.
love
Bring your eyes up to midnight.
Yeah.
Keep your head the way it is. Bring your eyes down to 6. Midnight. 6. Midnight. 6. Center your eyes. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, relax. Bring your eyes to center. Bring them over to 9 o'clock. 3 o'clock. 9. 3. 9. 3. Center your eyes. Inhale. Exhale, relax. Visualize the clock. Open. Sorry, keep your eyes closed. I will open. Eyes up to midnight. Go to 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way into the corners. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Center your eyes. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Bring your eyes up to midnight. Anti-clockwise. 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Center. Just to finish, bring your eyes to 2 o'clock, to 7 o'clock. 2, 7, 2, 7. Center your eyes. Breathe. Last one. Bring it up to 11, 5, 11, 5, 11, 5. Center your eyes. Put your hands together. Rub them really briskly. Create a nice heat in your hands, creating some warmth, and put them over your eyes and just bathe your eyes in your hands, and gently with your fingertips massage your eyebrows out towards the temples of the head and across the eyelids, and just gently massage the side of the eyes. Take a deep breath in, exhale, and slowly and gently open your eyes.
Wow. That really works.
What a good exercise.
Isn't that weird? I had no idea I had such control because it works. I mean, you could literally go around the, you
I
can feel the
felt it
muscles
relaxing me
moving.
deeper in my head as well, not just my eyes.
You
all
see,
my
the
kind of
interesting
stress
thing
in my
about eye
head.
movements is we have a lot of blood circulation. We have
Yeah.
obviously all the muscles around the eyes, all the blood, the little lymph, everything there. Everything's happening. There's so much happening there. So when you do that and you control it, and when you push your eyes into the corner, it's stretching the eyes into corners where you normally don't go. Because we look forward, we look to the side, but we don't actually stretch them into the corner. And when we do that, we're exercising the muscles around the eyes, and that's why it's really
Helps
good
with
for
irrigation and the rest
helps
of
with
it.
irrigation.
Loved
obviously.
it. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah, me too.
Aye,
Very
aye.
good.
Aye, aye. Another exercise to do.
Make my day. Make my day.
Linea Directa has come up with a squatter policy for just €24 a year. You don't have to have your home insurance with them. This is a completely separate matter to protect you from squatters. For more information, call 952 147834 or their website, lineadirecta.com.
Make my day. Make my day.
That was amazing what Audrey was saying about those exercises for the eyes, and I think that would be a perfect wind down for sleep, and that's what I'm going to be talking about today. So sleep, some people have a lot of difficulty sleeping, and it's not just something that you do in the evening, it's something that you can do throughout the day. I mean, just simple things. I mean, they do say 8 glasses a day of water, but that is also important to help you sleep at night. So you have to be really hydrated. Because if you're not hydrated enough, then you wake up like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't know how many of
Thirsty.
you
Yeah.
wake up at that time and you don't realize what it is. It could be for dehydration, or it could be because you're drinking too late at night. So it's best not to drink anything like 2 hours before sleeping. And then when we're talking about what you should be doing before going to sleep, it's best not to eat 3 to 4 hours before sleeping, because the digestion can also keep you awake. So that's another thing not to do. And then there's certain foods that you can eat before going to sleep, which helps you to sleep. And who's eaten turkey at Christmas time and slept afterwards?
Everyone.
Well, you mean pass out? That's coma, normally, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Food coma
coma.
on the sofa.
But turkey is one really good thing to help you sleep.
Really?
Really?
Yeah. So if you do have difficulty
Just
sleeping,
turkey?
no, if you have turkey, for example, with quinoa or with rice or something like
Yeah.
that, as your evening meal, that's something that you can already have an evening meal to start the sleep process. Then have a dessert of oats, which is always really good to help the melatonin and to help you sleep better at night. Sour cherries is also another thing that's
Wow.
really
Oh,
good
wow.
to help you to
I would
sleep
have,
at
would have
night.
like woken up all the senses and
No, fruits in general, you don't eat in the nighttime, but sour cherries has got something that helps the melatonin, the sleep hormone, so you sleep better
Okay.
at night. So you can have those kind of things as foods to eat, but 3 to 4 hours before sleeping. So then you're not waking up because of the digestion and all those kind of things. And fiber during the daytime is also something really good, which helps you to sleep at night as well. So it's like a whole day process, keeping you super healthy, which helps you to
Funny you
sleep at
don't
night.
think of that in the sense of when you go to bed, if you're like, a lot of times just pass out with exhaustion.
But that's sleep deprived.
But-
if you're going passed out,
Yeah, but a lot of times then I will wake up at 3, 4 in the morning. And you know what I mean? It's like, but again, I'm not preparing at all during the day. The opposite. I'm having dinner just before I go to sleep because it's the only time I've had.
Yes.
There's no preparation during the day for preparing for a good night's sleep.
What if you just can't get to sleep?
if you just can't get to sleep,
I mean,
then
should you
yes.
worry? You should get more stress. I mean, when my father's saying, it's always been a useful hint. If you just can't get to sleep, just lie there, Neil. Don't get stressed. Just relax. It doesn't matter. At least you've been still in bed, and it does work for me.
Yeah, I mean, readings, you can do the whole preparation before. I mean, if your bedroom is cluttered, you're going to have all sorts of like thoughts and stuff. So you want to have a nice space to go
That's a
to
good
sleep
hint.
in.
Yeah.
And then you want to have dim lights when the sun sets, dim lights. So that's already getting into the relaxed mood. So that you can start sort of like doing like the brain training beforehand, and then read like a nice story, listen to nice music, all these kind of things before going to sleep. But also if you're having like the right kind of foods before sleeping, that will already...
Gosh, it's hard work going to sleep.
And not
Sounds
having
like
your
a lot of work.
Yeah.
I'm
Prepare
tired.
your
just-
whole day.
and not having your phone on and the blue light
Yeah, the
from the
blue-
phone and
yeah,
the
the-
electricity
yeah, yeah.
and all that.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
that
want-
one. The
you-
people sending
Yeah.
messages.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I leave my phone on just because of the kids.
Yeah, but
you don't know.
I'm the worst one
But
with
the
that, though.
pinging
Yeah.
of
Yes.
people sending messages at all
But
kinds
you
of
don't
the
turn
night.
your ping off. I have my
Yeah,
ping off.
me too.
But I just I'm
Yeah.
worried that maybe the kids or for something they're going to need something,
Right.
and so I leave it on.
Yeah.
You know, and
But
it's-
put it
that's
on.
not
Put it
good
on.
by the
Yeah,
sound
you
of
can't
it.
even put it on
No.
silent if you're worried about them. But yeah, I always like to have my phone far away.
Yeah.
Because you have to have
Yes,
it as
exactly.
many
Ping
meters
off,
away,
I can't imagine
or in
that,
the next
having
room.
pings.
And then you want to have it either on flight mode or something like that.
Yeah,
If anything, so at
Yeah.
least the messages still come through eventually. But yeah, that's one good thing to look into.
And temperature-wise, Linda?
Our temperature is best between 16 and 19 degrees. So the cooler
Sounds
you
cold.
are, yes, the cooler you are, because your body actually, when it's relaxing, it's already cooling down. So that's the better kind of temperature to sleep. Don't sleep with your socks on, because some people want to think that they
I
have
do in the
warm-
winter because it's freezing in Spanish houses.
Okay,
Yeah.
but having the warm
It's
socks on-
seasonal.
It's marble.
Yeah, I know, but warm your feet up because you can't go to sleep with cold feet.
No.
But you have to warm your feet up, but take your socks off because all the energy and all the clutter and all the
Oh, that's
stuff
interesting.
goes out from your body through your
Oh,
feet.
what? I don't know.
and you're just collecting it in socks.
Yeah.
And it can't
Otherwise
escape.
I'm lying
It's
awake
like-
with
it's
cold
like
feet.
stuff.
Yeah,
That's why you put them in the washing machine, one goes missing because you can't
Yeah,
ever
it goes
find
in the
the
bottom of the bed.
Yeah.
But another nice thing is like a warm, hot bath, foot bath, before going to sleep with all the salt crystals
Foot
or
bath.
essential
Really good
oils.
thing.
Lavender oil.
Yeah, and then you've got all those kind of oils that help you to sleep as well, the lavender and all those. And you can make sleepy teas with lavender, with
Yeah, I quite often have
chamomile,
those. They
with
sell very good
cardamom.
ones.
You can even buy the tea bags with it says sleep on them.
Sleep
Yeah.
Easy
One
or
of these.
Info
Yes.
Sueño is
That's
another
it,
one, another
yeah.
brand.
Yeah. But again, don't drink it before going to sleep because again,
Oh.
you wake up in the middle of the night. So
Oh.
again, a couple of hours beforehand, you're already doing the wind downs
Yeah, yeah.
beforehand. If you're thirsty, sip a little bit and whatever, but try and drink as much water throughout the day in between meals, not meal times, because that dilutes your food.
Yeah.
But that would be like
I
the
have a
best
question
thing.
because I recently worn one of these kind of pace
Yes, yeah.
step measures,
And these-
and it has a sleep option. And I was just looking to see what percentage of deep sleep because it tells me how much
does,
deep sleep, and it
yeah.
tells me every night it's about 22 or 23%. Is that good or bad? difference between deep sleep and
Right,
so
just
I don't really
there's all those
understand
different
that.
phases.
But
Yeah.
it doesn't seem very much to me.
No, it doesn't
22%.
seem a lot. No,
Yeah, I don't think you're getting enough decent
No.
sleep.
No. You should have a siesta, Neil.
But if you sleep between 10 and 2, I know it's really difficult in Spain, those hours, but that's like the beauty sleep. And so that's the deeper sleep. It's when your body, the more hormone, the more melatonin hormone is produced.
More restorative.
And more restorative, and so it's the deeper sleep, and so you feel better. So really you should be looking between 10 and 11 to really be winding down already in bed kind of thing. I know it's difficult here in Spain.
Spain it's difficult. I mean, the evening
Summertime.
meal,
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
late.
now it's different, and in tourist areas it's different.
Yeah.
But the restaurant in Spain didn't even used to open till 9 o'clock
No.
at night.
Yes.
So you go out for dinner 9. It's very normal to go out for dinner 9:30, meet you at 10.
Yeah.
And then look, the evening film starts at 10 o'clock at night on Spanish television.
Yeah.
So the normal family's
kids'
looking at going to
programmes
bed at
start at
11:30
11.
midnight.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
just a norm. It's a
I
whole
know.
different.
I know, it is pretty crazy. Oh, coming back to your sleep routine thing,
Yeah.
do a brain dump. Have like a little notepad next
Yeah,
to
I
your
try and do
bed.
that. At the
and
end of
just
the
like-
day, a list of all the things I got to do tomorrow. So
Yeah.
and it really does work.
Yeah.
It's like
Oh,
the
so
top
you
10
don't
things.
just
Yeah.
ruminate.
Ruminate.
Yeah.
It really does help me.
Yeah.
That does help.
And a little journal of maybe just write down 3 things of what you're grateful for in the daytime, because that puts you into a nice kind of like
Yeah.
feeling before going to sleep. And then even put your shopping list down, like just
Yeah.
get everything out of your head, whatever pops up.
Yeah, it's when things are going round and round in your
Yeah,
head and this
yeah.
kind of closed
I find,
circuit
Linda,
loop.
even if you listen to like a sleep guided meditation, it's quite good.
Yeah.
It brings you into
Yeah,
that
like
relaxed
yoga nidra
phase.
is really good.
It's nice.
Yeah.
So just wind it down. Spend all day
Getting
getting
ready.
ready.
The minute you get up,
Right.
start thinking about going to bed.
Yeah.
for
There's
a
no
good
problem with that at all.
Yeah. Well, things
Oh,
like
the
coffee and
Spanish
stuff.
siesta, which is obviously even part of our life. I'll admit it's part of my life in the summer a lot of the time. Good or bad?
Excellent, I'd say.
It depends on which angle you're looking at. I mean, here in Spain, I would go for it, definitely.
But most people in Spain, having lived in Spanish Spain,
Yes.
don't actually sleep
No,
at
this
the
sort
siesta.
of, sort of chill.
It's too hot to work.
Yes.
Yeah.
Too hot to shop.
Yeah.
So they close between 2 and 5 because it's just too hot to be
Yeah.
out.
Yes.
Yeah.
They have lunch from 2 till say 3, normally in family, everyone goes home, and then they will sit and watch the afternoon film that's on Spanish television that takes
They're
you from
still.
and then 5 o'clock you go back to work. But very few people actually sleep. They might do like your daddy suggested. They'll
Yeah.
sit there quietly.
Yeah.
But it's not like the siesta people actually get and they go to bed and they go to sleep.
Put the pajamas on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's more like just taking a
Yeah.
break from the heat and then carry on again because
Yeah.
the shop's open till 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, that
It's a
makes
different.
sense.
Yeah, but
schedule.
if you do a siesta, it's best not to do more than 20 minutes.
I know.
Because the longer
know.
you do, the sleepier you feel.
You go into a
don't wanna-
different
Take an
phase
hour.
of
When
sleep.
it happens to me, it
Yeah,
takes me an hour to wake up
Yeah,
Yeah,
again.
you feel more tired sometimes.
The other day I
yeah.
took an hour and a half nap because I really needed it.
Yeah.
I was useless the whole afternoon. My daughter
Yeah.
goes saying, "You okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I just had a nap."
Right.
Yeah.
You shouldn't
Yeah,
say like an
makes
hour
it
later.
worse.
You sure you're okay? Yeah, really. I'm just
Fine.
trying to get out of this nap that I had. I'm
yeah,
still
yeah.
just comatose from the nap.
Yeah, you do get sleepier afterwards. But if you are sleep deprived, then the more sleep you can recover on, then it's better for your IQ. Because if you sleep less hours in the nighttime, you need to recuperate because you do have less IQ.
Yeah.
Your brain works less, and you
It's
feel
true, the response time is
And
grumpy
that's
slower.
and-
scientifically
Yeah,
proven because I've read
Yeah,
that some people
100%.
can live on 3 hours a night or something like that.
I
And
think in
size.
the end it has to have takes its
Yeah.
toll.
Yeah.
Back to our tolle.
Ecco
Yeah,
tolle.
yeah,
Back to our
Tolle.
tolle. It takes its
Tolle.
tolle.
Yeah.
Do you sleep well then? Apart when you, even though you
Well,
get
I get
20%
myself-
good
well, I'm
sleep,
disappointed
do you
by
feel like
20%.
do you feel like you
Yeah,
get a good night's sleep?
I do. I can have 2 or 3 months where maybe I don't, but generally I do. I think 7 hours.
You
I
Audrey,
get.
you sleep well?
Yeah, I love a good sleep actually, because it gives you energy for the next day. doesn't
I
it?
love a
and you
good
feel
sleep.
like more on the ball, definitely.
I
I
do
love
do
a
more
good
than 20 minutes siesta when it happens, and that's not a good idea.
Sorry?
Siesta time, I can do quite well, but it's normally more than 20
Do you know
minutes.
it's funny?
Right.
Actually, I used to get really sleepy midday,
Yeah,
like that siesta
after
time.
lunch.
I would feel it really that I was trying, and you like try not give in and carry
Yeah.
work through.
Yeah.
But since I've started going to the personal training, I don't have that.
'Cause you've
As
just,
one thing I've really noticed
Your energy
is
levels
I
has
don't
gone up.
get that low
Yeah. It's because
in
of
the middle
sugar.
of the day.
It's the sugar levels, because exercising helps a lot for the sugar levels in the body. And then if you're eating, like, depending on what you're eating at lunchtime, if it's heavy, then your body needs a lot of energy to try and and so you feel like exhausted from eating, and it needs all that energy
So it's
to
one of
digest.
the things I've noticed. I don't have that
Great.
Good for you.
Yeah.
no, really
Yeah.
good.
And get muscle as well.
You were. Look at those biceps.
What time of day do you go to personal training?
7 in the morning.
That's early.
7
Wow.
till 8.
But that sounds scary from a sleep point of view as well.
It's the,
Yeah.
but it's the only
6.
time that I can get my, because in fact the other day I arrived late because he said I'm going to be 10 minutes late. I was like, okay, 10 past 7. So I started to work because I was up. And then all of a sudden I realized like half an hour had gone by and I was late. Do you know what I mean? So like I need to do it the minute I'm up before I can react to
Before
actually
your
what I'm
head
doing.
starts going.
I'm
Yeah.
there doing it before I realize what's happening. But if it's like not the very first hour of the day, there isn't time.
Yeah.
In my mind,
Yeah,
I'm sure
yeah,
it
yeah.
just
Yeah.
it
Your head
works
just
for
stops
me.
working. Yeah, I find
It works for me early.
Yeah. And before you're saying about that you sleep so like rapidly, so fast, if it should take you like 15 minutes to wind down to sleep, but if you're sleeping as soon as your head hits the pillow, then
Exhausted.
that means you're sleep deprived. And also if people are like watching TV or on a bus or they're like in a car or something, they're like nodding off, that also means you're sleep deprived. So yeah, you do need to recover on your sleep or find ways of maybe just have 15 minutes earlier you go to bed,
Yeah.
or maybe and then wake up to half an hour early. And then
I kind of have the structure to be sleep before midnight, like, 11,
Yes.
12. And if I do that and I wake up at 7, I always feel amazing. If I go to bed at 12:30 or 1 a.m.,
Yeah.
it affects me the
It's
next
a different
day.
story.
Isn't it? It's
Yeah,
funny
very much.
that.
Well, usually it affects me 2 days later. I find
Yeah.
the next day I'm just fine, and then 2-3 days later, boom.
Oh,
That's because I had a
tired.
late night on Monday
Yeah,
or
late
Sunday
nights,
or whatever.
yeah.
Well, on that note, we're going to say sweet dreams.
Good morning,
Good
sweet
night's sleep
dreams.
tonight. Let us know how it goes.
Hello and good morning, Spain. Today we're going to be making Ensalada de Boquerones, a small anchovy salad. This is a classic here in Spain. We can buy these everywhere. They've already cooked in vinegar, ready to go, super easy, but we'll make them again another time. So I've got a pan on medium heat. I'm just going to put in a few pieces of bread just to get them nice and toasted. Looking for that golden brown colour on either side. Meanwhile, we'll get the mixture made for these salad. This is such an easy salad to do, but such a lovely little tapa, such a great little starter as well. Also a fantastic little side dish. White onion here, going to give this a peel, so top and tail. Take that first layer of skin off. We want to cut this as fine as we can, so cutting down the middle, slicing one way, as close together as we can, and slicing a few times down, and then really nice and smooth, small as we can. Perfect. Into our bowl. Same again with the other half, so slicing. Couple of cuts down. And just nice and easy. Beautiful. Lovely tomato here. Got to do the same with this, so just take this top part off. And I want some really nice thin slices if we can. And then we're going to slice this up the exact same way. So slicing one way, as thin as we can, let the knife do the chopping. And then slicing the other. Repeat the process. Nice chopped tomatoes here, they can go in with our onions. We're keeping an eye on our bread here. Starting to get nice and golden brown, nice and toasted, perfect. Beautiful. So let's get back to this salad. Let's start finishing off. Bit of zest and lemon here. A little bit of the juice as well. Some seasoning, salt and pepper. Not too heavy on the salt because the boquerones are salty. Give this a good mix around. Really simple flavors here. Bit of parsley. And some really good olive oil. Now these boquerones normally come in some lovely oil and vinegar, so I'm just adding a couple of tablespoons of that juice into there too. And we are ready to plate up. So these bits of bread looking nice and golden brown. Just soaking up all that lovely olive oil. Lay these on the plate. Come in with my tomato mix. Just a little piece on each one. Now, a couple of these boquerones on top. It's just going to make this a fantastic bite. Super refreshing. Now let's finish this off. A little bit of fresh parsley on top. Lovely. A little bit of the olive oil just around the plate and on top. And we are ready to go. This is my little tostada of boquerones en vinagre. Let's have a taste of this. Really easy, obviously. Great little bite, this. Such a refreshing combo. That warm bread makes all the difference, that crunch at the bottom. Lovely, get the vinegar from the anchovies, that tomato and onions just brings everything together. Absolutely delicious. Thank you very much, and good morning.
Linea Directa appreciates just how important our pets are to us, and that's why they brought out one of the most comprehensive insurance policies on the market from just €39.90 a year. Give them a call on 952 147834 or from the website lineadirecta.com.
Make my day. Make my day.
Good morning, Spain. Today I'm going to talk about disconnected intimacy and the hidden cost of pornography and OnlyFans on the youth, young adults, and also adults.
You know this is a morning show.
I know this is a morning show, but if you're a parent,
Yeah, it's important.
or you're a young adult, I think it's important to listen.
I do too.
Yeah, I think there's been an age-old argument, which is the exposure of the young towards explicit material, right back to kind of Elvis's jiggle on stage and then flying
He
forward.
moved his hips.
I know, he moved
How
his hips.
dare
And then his, violent
He didn't
movies,
just
you know.
move his hips, he moved his
Yeah.
He really did.
So, and the effect that this may have on the young, and it seems more prominent than ever before now with the age of digitalization. So, porn is extremely accessible, okay? And it's also the content is extremely graphic now. Anybody can enter it. You have the gateway, which is, are you 18? Click yes, it's the responsibilities on the consumer. But the stats show that 90% of male boys by the age of 14 are consuming regular pornographic content.
That's very young.
Yeah, and 60% of girls are consuming regular porn by the age of 14.
And a lot of it's very dark, no?
It is very
Really
dark, which was where I
There's
was
such a
gonna go
vulnerable
with it.
age exploring that whole world.
The adolescent brain goes through this, I've said this on the program about a year ago, it goes through this massive neurological change, which rapid growth, which is the same as when you were a baby before 18 months, years old. So you're soaking up everything like a sponge, but also impulse control is not really working properly, and emotional control and stuff like that's not really working properly. What's coming through the therapy doors, and has been for about 2 decades now, is the normalization of certain extreme sexual acts which have become normalized within
Or you just
the
look at
pornographic
the
community.
pop stars,
Yeah.
how they dress, how they gyrate,
Yeah.
how they crawl across the stage.
It's so
Yes,
true.
it's thrown at you, as is
Yeah,
OnlyFans,
yeah.
and we'll get onto that one as well. So what's happening is young girls are conditioned into thinking they have to be pretty, obviously available, attractive, completely open to whatever is required of them within sexual acts, and to be completely happy with this as well. And what it's doing is it's actually blurring the idea of consent. And a lot of girls are coming into therapy rooms with feelings of shame and guilt, feeling dirty. They develop OCD traits and things like this. And the narrative is very similar to what you used to hear from, or still hear, from young people who were abused, which is, I kind of consented, but I didn't at the same time. It felt wrong. I'm in a situation I can't get out of. I didn't say no because it's kind of expected. And you get this kind of distorted view of what consent actually is.
And all because at that age they want to be liked.
Yes,
They want to be
Yeah.
accepted.
Exactly.
They want to be
They just want to
accepted.
like.
yeah. And boys are not. Boys don't escape this. So, what's happening with the male side of things is boys are being kind of conditioned into, there's an aggression towards women. There's a need to perform and be kind of alpha male about it. But what goes across both genders, if you like, is a complete disconnect from the emotional side of sex and relationships, which is severely becoming missed.
Distorted.
Yeah, really becoming distorted. And like I said, this consent. So it's becoming a problem because the content is becoming more and more graphic and pushing the limits all the time. I think 2 years ago, research was showing that the most searched topic within porn sites was the stepfamily situation, which is quite telling. And it's all role play, supposedly.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
That's what people are looking for.
That's what people are searching. That's the
It's very
highest search
twisted,
term.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Very
Oh my
twisted.
God.
Yeah.
Family.
Yeah. And the problem with porn is, porn has an addictive cycle. So what's going on in the brain is you get a dopamine spike, you get a hit, not a natural dopamine rise and then fall. You get this spike, so you get a trough. That's the same if you take drugs, if you drink, if you gamble. So it's the same thing. And it stimulates the risk and reward centers within the brain. So what happens is, the more spikes you get, the lower your natural dopamine baseline becomes. So the more of a spike you need. Not only does that mean consumption goes up, but so does the explicitness of the content go up to get the bigger hit. And then there's a normalization that happens. So there's this expectation between adolescents, but adults are not impervious to this either, that you will perform for me this way, and I have to do this as well, and I will perform this way. So don't want to get too graphic, but group sex, things like that are becoming completely normalized within the adolescent community.
Always looking for that bigger hit, that
but
high.
there's an emotional fallout from this, which is that neurologically they're not developed enough emotionally to make certain decisions and to be able to handle the outcome.
It feels like almost like you know, when you get like paedophiles and things like that, and that they check out who their victims are going to be, and they they
Groom them.
That's the word I was looking for. It feels like it's like mass grooming.
Definitely.
Very
And
sad.
It's very sad.
I'm in shock.
And the fact it's so accessible on the internet.
Yes, that's
it's
the big problem.
not just protecting your YouTube channel, it's the TikTok, it's the Instagram, it's the Telegram, it's the Snapchat. That one's a big one, I think, a big worry, the Snapchat.
And it's for youngsters to think that they're normal sexual relationships. Like when you have sex, that's how I'm supposed to behave.
Yes.
This is how the man's going to treat me. This is how I'm going. If they're seeing lots of it, and that's how they see
That's their
sex.
norm.
It's
That's
becoming
their
the
norm.
Yeah,
And
this
it's
is
not
the
And
problem.
I just remember when I was young, obviously before phones and before social media and before computers and all of that, like there were lads mags or guys would look at catalogues with women in underwear.
We've gone
And
way
that was
past
like,
that.
yeah, exactly. And that was like,
That's a bit dirty.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally
Playboy,
just looking at
the
women in
articles are
underwear.
good.
Can you
Yes.
imagine? Yeah.
Was a much more.
But
Yeah.
guys hiding Littlewoods catalogues under
Exactly.
the bed just because there was women in underwear. I
got
mean,
a
think
lot
how
more
it's
hardcore.
changed.
Yeah.
There was a
Incredible.
joke flying around with a lot of comedians that in an age of inclusivity, diversity and equality, the pornographic industry is right at the top because anything goes. You can search for anything you want, any kind of kink fetish, it's there, and it's extreme. So it is normalizing all of this. So, and it's affecting adult relationships as well. So I have a lot of adult clients come in, and what people don't realize is the damage you are actually literally, if you consume porn to quite an extent, and some people do because it's got an addictive tendency, now you're actually changing the architecture of your brain, and you're actually changing what things stimulate you. So we're now finding adults within relationships who are no longer stimulated by the physical act of sex because the stimulus is so much of watching it. It changes. That's the thing that turns you on, this voyeurism, this kind of vicarious way of doing it. So then I'm getting couples coming in the room and like, he can't get excited by us having sex, and it's like, well, no, because this guy's consuming 20 hours of porn per week.
Can't live up to that.
No, but his stimulus has changed without him even realizing what's gone on.
I mean, is there any solution except being aware to like?
Yes, there are a few solutions. The UK and Australia are calling for digital literacy to begin being taught in schools. That's one thing.
What does that mean?
To become a little bit more aware of what's out there on the internet, what you're consuming, what it does to you, and then extend it further with regards to sexual relations to include, and parents can do this as well. The first thing to do is not to shame your teenager or young adult, not to shame your partner, whatever. You've got caught in a trap, which is addictive, and it's changed your perception of things. And what you need to do is teach and educate about the emotional side of things and making good emotional decisions, emotional connection, what goes on in a loving, healthy relationship. Because what they're consuming is giving the wrong message.
100%.
So the porn
They
industry
need
is
the parents to explain.
Which is exactly what you were saying.
Yeah.
This is why we're talking about it on a breakfast show, because this is today's reality.
Well, that industry is the biggest sex educator we have, and it's the worst teacher we have in terms of relationships. And then when you, the other thing that's of interest, if you're still not quite convinced, check out the link, because most porn channels, not that I know, dear.
Your friend told
Only
you.
on a need to know.
My friend told me.
My friend told
Only
me.
because work, you need to know.
Research, absolutely.
They're set out like YouTube, lots of thumbnails for the videos and the titles. And a lot of the research is done on the content. Okay, here's the content is bad. And there's been a bit of research done on the titles. So the language used is aggressive towards females and rewarding towards males. So, girl used like a toy, girl destroyed by group of men. This is literally the language. And then the other videos are lucky guy gets to sleep with his girlfriend and her best friend. So it's the language is completely
interesting,
different as well, which is
It's
again
all praising the
influencing.
man and
Absolutely.
degrading the woman.
Degrading the
So
woman.
parents,
Yeah.
a lot of work there.
Yeah.
Seek professional guidance if necessary. No shaming.
No
Talk
shaming.
about it. The same as don't put your
Yes.
fingers in the light socket. It's a conversation
And
that needs to be
I've got
had.
some websites
Definitely.
I can give you. Maybe you can flash them up because this is becoming a thing now, which the world is kind of recognizing. Parents need help. People need help. People who are hooked on porn need help with this because it does so much damage neurologically.
Thank you so much,
Wow.
Simon.
You're very welcome.
Thank you,
Wow.
Simon.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow, scary.
Wow.
Yes.
This segment is brought to you by Clear Vision Psychotherapy.
We hope you found the program informative and fun. You can check out information regarding the topics discussed in our website with links also to our YouTube channel and social media. We love having you with us. Have yourselves a great week. See you again very soon. Take care. Bye for now.
Bye.
I am my own.